The Board of Education of Bremen High School District 228 to order. Can I have the roll call, please?
Mr. Canny?
Here.
Mrs. Gleason here. Mr. Johnson? Mrs. Jones? Mrs. Campworth?
Here.
Mrs. Ressler?
Here.
Mrs. Stern?
Here, please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'm looking for a motion to approve the April 18, 2017 regular and closed session minutes as well as the May 4th regular and closed session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Ressler, second by Mr. Canning. Any discussion? No discussion.
Mrs. Ressler?
Aye.
Mr. Canny?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stern?
Aye. Award recognition award.
Good evening. You get us in tandem tonight. We would like to honor Miss Stacy Kepke. I'm just going to start off by saying Mrs. Kepke is the type of parent that she may actually live here. I haven't found where she sleeps yet, but I mean, the amount of time that she spends here, she's either employed or she's living here. I'm not quite sure which one it is. But she's the mom that's involved in everything and just a huge Sydney supporter. So with all of those different things that she's involved with, and there's a laundry list of them, I'm going to let Mike take over with that because, again, I think she may be somewhere down in the athletic department there.
A little bit. So Stacy is the mother of 5 boys, which 3 of them are with us tonight. She has 2 graduates already at Tinley Park. She has a senior here. She has a freshman and soon-to-be freshman next year. So she's busy at home, but she spends, as Dr. Nolan said, a lot of time here. This is my 11th year, and I would have to say that there's probably no one that has matched her dedication and commitment to our students and staff, our coaches. I'm going to give you a little bit of what she's been involved in, but there's a lot. So she's been involved in booster clubs for football, wrestling, and baseball, and that capacity is a lot of things. Sometimes she's the president, sometimes she's just that parent that wants to get involved. Obviously, concession stands, banquets, fishing show, acting as team mom on trips. The thing that really stuck out was a couple of weeks ago, obviously due to construction, we had our track invite, and it was moved to Sandburg High School. Stacy volunteered her time to run the concession stand at Sandburg, certainly not here, and she doesn't have a son or daughter on the track team. This is just what she is all about. As Dr. Nolan said, she spent countless hours here, and it's never about her, it's always about the kids, the coaches, the staff, etc. So it's a pleasure for me to nominate her, and I know that anybody that's been involved in any of these teams and my staff definitely salute her and appreciate her and want to thank her very much.
She also works at my doctor's office, so I think she takes care of me and my health as well. So I get to see her when she's here, and I get to go see her when I have to go visit the doctor. So I can't even believe that she has enough time for an outside job with the amount of time that she spends here.
I love it.
So good for you.
I know we love you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
And the nice thing is we don't get rid of her anytime soon.
No,
I have a 6th grader at Central, and so believe me, we still have, we still have a long ways to go.
Good for you. Board, I'd like to present you with this plaque. The Board of Education presents this award to Stacy Kepke. You have helped to provide a positive learning environment for the students of District 228 by the time and talent you share. Thank you for caring.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you get a picture? Hang on, go by my husband. Hurry up. Picture.
There you go.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to say a
job.
few things?
Oh, no,
or-
I can't.
Put you
say
on the
enough.
spot here.
Thanks. And as both of these wonderful people know that I'm all about Tinley Park High School. Nathan graduated 4 years ago, and Trevor graduated last year, and even when he called me to do the concession stand for the track meet, Keith Hume he's like, one of your boys need to quit baseball so they can run track for me. It's not about having a child involved, it's about the kids. And that's where my heart has always been. And I love being involved. And, being a mom of 5 boys, it's a good chaos. And I can say that being a part of a football team or a baseball team or wrestling team or any organization, that it's a great chaos here. And it works and it's amazing. And I wouldn't rather spend any of my time anywhere else. So thank you. Thank you.
We're going to roll right into the good news report for Tinley Park High School. Now, she's a first timer here tonight, so cut her some slack. Would Miss Lauren Berry come on up and do the good news for Tinley Park High School? You can just go right there. Actually, come on over by me. That way you're halfway. There you go.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lauren Berry. I'm a sophomore from Tinley Park High School, and I'm going to be delivering the good news report to you this evening. Congratulations to our 6 Titans who will be competing at EPA Nationals this weekend in Orlando, Florida. Congratulations to both the Tinley Titan Concert Choir and the TPHS Symphonic Band for receiving a Division I rating at the IHSA Organizational Contest on April 22nd. The Titan Boys Track Team would like to recognize the performance of Solomon Wilson Walls in the 110-meter high hurdles on April 13th at the Oak Lawn Invite. Solomon's time of 13.74 seconds broke the Spartan Invite record, the Tinley Park school record, and currently placed him number 1 in the state and 7th in the nation. Great job, Solomon. Overall, the boys' track season is going well. The last 3 invites, they have won 1 and placed 2nd in the other 2. The conference meet is next week. Good luck, guys. We had 30 Tinley Park High School students inducted in either the Spanish or French Honor Society on April 6th. We also had 11 students earn the State of Illinois Seal of Biliteracy recognition. Congratulations to Joey Davies and Emily Lilly for receiving our male and female athletic awards. Each year we recognize our top male and female students who have shown academic excellence as well as superb athleticism. These 2 exemplify the phrase student athlete in all regards. They were presented with their award at our seniors night on May 3rd. Congratulations to the girls soccer team for their awesome season thus far. They're currently 13-4 and 9-0 in conference. Keep up the great effort, ladies. Thank you, and that is all for the good news report.
Good evening. Representing Bengal Nation tonight is Yazra Abdul Wahid. Yazra is here to highlight academic and activity programs, in addition to a program that's near and dear to her heart, something she took kind of the lead on and led school-wide. So, Yazra?
Good evening, as Dr. Sakis said, my name is Yazra. Today I'm going to be delivering the good news report for Boys High School. I'd like to start out with a bit of an anecdote of what happened this morning. When Miss Dempsey emailed me the good news report, I scanned through it pretty quickly, just like any typical student, and I could not help but to remember a pretty serious fact that 670 AP tests were ordered this May for our students. I think that's a tremendous number, 670 tests. I just thought that was amazing, and I needed to highlight that. When I went to Dr. Sikor's office this afternoon to talk to him about the 670 AP tests, he said that he credits this high number to the fact that our school allows any student the opportunity to take an AP test. Regardless of their ranks, their grade levels, if a student wants a challenge, they will be given a challenge. I myself am one of those students. I am not the best at science, but this year in honors chemistry, I worked really hard and I was recommended to take advanced placement biology. So Dr. Sikora, thank you for that. Also, I'm involved in the DECA program at my school. And last fall, I implemented a community service project that took over 6 months to make, actually. And I had a goal of creating hunger awareness in my school. I did this in 3 ways. First of all, I hosted a month-long food drive in which resulted in over 1,600 pounds of food donations to our local food pantry, St. Damien, and they were very thankful. Marge Conway, the manager of it, sent us a thank you note. She said that it would help over 300 families that rely on the food pantry every month to actually eat. So I thought that was a good thing. I also hosted an Oxfam Hunger Banquet. I'm going to explain a little bit about it because when I say it, people think that I'm just giving out food, which isn't the case. An Oxfam Hunger Banquet is where students are divided into different sections based on 3 sectors of the world: low income, medium income, and high income. And students would be served food based on what a person from each of the 3 income levels would eat for that day. Over 160 students attended this banquet from FCCLA and AP Human Geography. I specifically invited AP Human Geography students to attend this banquet because I took AP Human Geography last year, and there was a 2-month-long unit about population and migration statistics, and we learned that there are many people in this world, over 1 billion actually, that do not have enough food to eat. That's why I implemented this project. Lastly, I created the Hunger Games fundraiser that involved all of the school staff. And for 1 week in our cafeteria, we were taking change from students. And in the end, we raised $360 that was given to Syrian people. Obviously, with the war going on, they're very needy. We donated the money to Syrian people that were in war-torn communities, and that's where the money benefited. That's really all I have for the good news report. There was obviously more.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Come on.
Can you do some reactions from your banquet?
There was many quotes. One student actually came up when we were asking questions and shared a story of the time that he was young and he was relying on the St. Damien food pantry to survive, because his mom is a single mom, so they struggled growing up and they relied on that food pantry. And he's a freshman because AP Geography is open to freshmen, and that really touched me because in that moment I felt like I made a difference in someone's life.
You did make a difference.
And that's what really touched me.
Good girl.
It's quite surprising when people realize what others are having to deal with and are thankful for and what we're tossing away. Good job.
At such a young age. You rock.
Thank you.
I'll be the helper. Junior, what you did.
Good evening. It's me great privilege to present Ms. Dorcas Adekale, who's going to give the good news report for Hillcrest High School. This is Dorcas's first time, so go easy on her.
I already harassed her in the hallway.
Yeah.
The highlight of my day.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dorcas Adekale, and I am a junior at Hillcrest High School. I am a member of NHS, Spanish NHS, Key Club, Ecology Club, Math League, and a whole bunch of other things. I'm involved in everything. But here's your good news report. Let's say the Hillcrest family continues to support the community through timeless volunteerism. In conjunction with the Bridge Teen Center and the Global Youth Service Day Project, the Julie Kurtz Freshman Leadership Group organized a Clean Your Closets clothing drive. Students collected bags of gently used clothes, which were then sorted, and the items were sold at the Bridge Center thrift store, demonstrating commitment to the local. I'm super nervous right now.
You're doing fine.
Demonstrating commitment to the local environment, the Hillcrest Key Club and Energy Club teamed up to clean the beaches of Chicago Lakefront as part of the Great Lakes Action Day sponsored by the Shed Aquarium and the Chicago Park District. I personally got to take part in this, and I feel like that was a great opportunity for me because it was really fun, and I feel like I made a difference cleaning up the beach that day. And I'm happy that Hillcrest gave me the opportunity to be a part of it. Ms. Lopez and Ms. Trench took 25 students to pick up over 300 pounds of garbage on the Chicago lakefront. As part of Hillcrest's desire to engage the community, the Hillcrest Art Society hosted Family Arts Night on Thursday, April 27th. The event, which welcomed over 100 participants, included painting, chalk, origami, and collaborative art stations. The Hillcrest Music Ensemble, Blue Soul, provided jazz as a backdrop to the event, which ended in karaoke singing. During the week of April 10th, RIMC celebrated National Library Week. To kick off the week, we hosted guest author Dr. Stephanie Massey as the Spring Family Reading Night at the Spring Family Reading Night. Dr. Massey wrote the book, Enjoying Sunday Morning Breakfast with Mom's Amazing Tales. Guests learned about Dr. Massey's writing inspirations, editing tactics, illustration concerns, and publishing processes. She also raffled off signed copies of her book. Miss Sweeney's Culinary Club provided tasty treats for the guests. Recently, Hillcrest students in the Baking Basic class earned first place at the district's Cupcake Wars. In honor of the 2017 theme, Spring, Hillcrest students created a bouquet of colorful flowers that were not only beautiful to look at, but delicious also. At the IHSA Large Organizational Contest on April 22nd, the Hillcrest Concert Band earned a Division I superior rating. In addition, congratulations to the band for winning first place at the Music in the Parks Festival in Branson, Missouri. Hillcrest is home of the Hawks. Hawks are swift, intensely focused, and powerful creatures. They are intelligent, wise, and proud. I am proud to be Hillcrest Hawk.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very happy to have Elijah Trella and Regina Beal to give our good news report from Bremen High School.
Good evening. This is your good news report. Bremen High School is proud to announce 143 seniors participated in our annual Senior Signing Day on May 4th. Senior Signing Day is a time to recognize the seniors that have a set plan for college, trade school, or military after graduation. We are very proud of our seniors who have shown great dedication and grit at BHS over the past 4 years. We are excited about what is on the horizon for them and what they will accomplish in the upcoming years, said Dr. David Douglas. And then 25 Bremen Braves have the opportunity to visit one of their alma maters, Springfield Elementary School in Midlothian, Illinois, on April 20th, 2017. The students participated in Springfield's I Love to Read Week. The students were given free shirts for participating in the event. They were then split up to travel around the school to read to students from grades preschool through 6th grade. The students enjoyed going back and reading to current students and visiting their former teachers. Springfield teacher Mrs. Janine Arnberg said, "For the past few years, we have invited and welcomed Springfield Elementary alumni from Bremen High School to return and read to our classes. The teachers enjoyed seeing former students and Springfield students enjoy meeting and talking about reading with high schoolers. The Bremen students talked to the classes about the importance of reading in their lives and answered questions about high school and what it's really like. All in all, it is a very enjoyable day for teachers and students alike."
Sorry. Bremen High School District 228's Communication Arts and Technology program recently attended the 24th Annual Midwest Media Educators Association Video Festival, which was held at Neuqua Valley High School in Naperville, Illinois. Brandon Boyce placed first place in the dramatic narrative category for his short film, While It Lasts. Brandon Al-Sheikh Tyler Baker, Brandon Boyce, Billy Johnson, Jarrett Kennebrew, Jonathan McCord, Ronan Morrissey, Richard Sanchez, and Marcus Swan placed third in the 7-minute film challenge category for 3.14 the movie. Maria Cardenas was a finalist in the movie trailer category. Shalisa Butler and Marcus Swan were also finalists in the news program category for the Millennial Monthly. The winning videos can be viewed at www.bdtv228.net under the award winners playlist. The Communication Arts and Technology course is taught by Michael Lynch, offered at Bremen High School and open to all students in District 228. Also in athletics, congratulations to our April Student Athletes of the Month. Sophomore Aylin Carachia, who is a member of the girls track team. Aylin has 6 top 5 finishes during the month of April and recently broke the all-time fresh soft 800-meter school record. Sophomore Sam Luna, who is a member of the boys track team, has the team's fastest 400-meter and 800-meter times, as he eclipsed his personal best time in each of his last 4 races. Good luck to them both at conference. This has been the Bremen Good News Report. Remember, at Bremen, we have pride.
Do we have any comments from the public? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm crossing off the heads.
We will not be as long as we were last time.
No.
Good evening. You know, last time when we talked to you guys, we had the opportunity to tell you about a program that we just started called ISIP, Individualized School Improvement. A large chunk of our staff chose to engage in that individual action research. But then we had another group that didn't necessarily choose that route. So we had to make sure that we created opportunities for meaningful professional development for that group, which we lovingly call TSIP, or Traditional School Improvement, which is more of the group professional development opportunities. So when we were getting together, deciding about where we were going to take this traditional group, because it was much smaller than having our entire staff, we decided to use the 3 key concepts from a conference that 10 of our teachers went to in August, where they got to hear Pedro Nagura speak. And his 3 points that he made in the conference were, if you're going to improve your climate and culture and raise academic expectations, his 3 points of focus were equity, engagement, and parent involvement. So at each of our different meetings, our group, our TSIP group, tackled one of these 3 different concepts. It was everything from, what do we do at Tinley Park High School that demonstrates these things? What are people doing at other schools that demonstrate these things? At one point in time, they got on computers and they were just to research what are other schools doing for parent involvement, outside of athletics. I think we got the athletic parent involvement thing down pat. It's just we're looking for other ideas on how we can include our parents into our school life. So when they were sharing out what they found at other schools, an idea from our automotive instructor came up, and he just said, you know what, I would love the opportunity to be able to show parents what our auto shop is all about. The equipment we have, the skills that we teach, just all the cool things that we actually do in our auto shop, because I don't think people really appreciate the expensive equipment, the scope of equipment that they have down there, and that these high-end skills that these students are learning. That was kind of the birth of this event that we just had a week and a half ago. So that led to another teacher saying, well, I would like parents to see how, we do this in a classroom, and then so on and so on and so on. So before you knew it, we had a group of 10 teachers, along with, a few of our administrative team, planning this Titan parent-student partnership event. And you can see some pictures from it on there. The first page inside shows you all the different offerings that parents were invited to come with their student to Tinley Park High School to engage in these different opportunities. Now, the one thing I want to stress, and I want to stress probably multiple times here, we had 25 staff members volunteer their time to come back and put on these different parent programming options for our Titan families. This was just them coming here to showcase their talents, their skills, their personalities, and what they do in the classroom for kids every day. Parents were allowed to sign up for either 2 half-hour sessions or 1 one-hour session. And you can see the different offerings that were there. After the event, we sent out an evaluation to all of our attendees. You'll see some of the results there, and I'm going to let Randy take over and talk about some of the data, the results, and the wrap-up of it.
So for a first attempt at this, and at the end of the school year when there's lots of other things going on, we had some very good participation. We had probably over 60 people in total that were there. We were able to get 28 emails representing 28 different families that we sent the survey to. Of the 28 surveys that we sent out, we got a return of 14. So we got a 50% return, which in survey language is pretty good. So just to highlight a few things that they said in those surveys, 64% of the people that responded said that they did pre-register for the event. We sent out something initially, the parents could sign up to come, could choose the sessions they wanted to attend, and so 64% said they pre-registered. 76% of the people that came had their student with them and attending the classes with them that evening. 100% stated that the session lengths were just right and that the number of session offerings were just right as well. And 100% of the people that responded basically said that this night met their expectations. 76% said that the night exceeded their expectations. 24% said that the night met their expectations. So overwhelmingly a very positive response from our parents that attended this evening. As you can see also on that page, there are some comments that people left with the survey. Some good feedback in terms of how we can improve the event in the future. But there's a few things I just wanted to highlight. The second one down there, it says, I raved about this event back at my office at CCSD 146. So another school person went back, raved about it at their school. I know that I, and I would assume many other parents, feel out of touch with their child's experience in high school. With limited opportunity for parental involvement, I greatly appreciate the consideration and effort put forth at Tinley Park High School to make this a successful event. Somebody else said, and I love this one because it talks specifically about Dan Unick, awesome parent engagement night. Mr. Unick was phenomenal. I am so grateful my children have such an inspiring, engaging teacher who bases his thoughts, discussion, and instruction on historical facts. And then one other person said, it's so nice to be able to interact with teachers for more than just a few minutes at parent-teacher conferences and to really connect with them. And that was the goal, was really to get parents in with their student, if they wanted to bring their student, to just connect with their teachers, see what they're doing on a daily basis, and kind of go through a part of a student's day at least and see what they experience regularly. So
You'll see there's an email attached here that was also sent to us after the event as well. Just again, sharing her thoughts about wanting to participate and being happy that this was an opportunity offered to her. And we can show you all these emails and things like that, but we thought, why don't you hear it from somebody that was here that evening? So we definitely, we're getting double bang for our buck here because Lauren Berry presented the good news report and Julie Berry attended the event. And so we asked her to just share a few words about her experience as a parent going to this event that night.
Well, I could share a few words, or I'd like to share some more than a few words, if I could, just about parent engagement.
They're all yours.
And I prepared something to read so I wouldn't be nervous, but in order for me to share it, I couldn't miss the opportunity to give you my thoughts on why I think parent engagement is so important. And so it's not very long. So I said, I want to share a Gallup poll with you that I read and that was published in 2518, and I'll pass it out afterwards. And I like it because it has data related to parent engagement study, and today everyone seems to want data. To me, the value of parent engagement is evident, common sense. I think many of you would agree with its importance. I do, however, see us in a state of testing frenzy where data is glorified. What brought me to read so much about parent engagement was the fact that standardized test scores are directly linked to socioeconomic status. Yet, the level of importance and expectation parents put on education can also have a huge impact on achievement. So with this, how do we engage parents authentically so that they become ambassadors of the school? How do we add parent education because we know that students' education can be benefited? For parents, how do we make the academic life of students as accessible and desirable as a basketball, baseball, or football game their child might be playing in? I've attended many parent engagement events at Tinley that were helpful. A sleep doctor came and talked, a technology night, and so on. It is obvious that Tinley is committed to a parent engagement program, and I admit that their efforts have made me an ambassador that promotes and supports the school. But of all the nights I've attended, this was my favorite. So now I'll tell you about it, and I think I'm going to repeat some of the things that Teresa said, so just forgive me. I received an email inviting my daughter and me to a Titan experience. There were over 20 different sessions for us to sign up for. Some sessions were an hour long and some were a half hour. And members of the Titan staff were leading all of the sessions. As I scanned the list of sessions, I saw many teachers that my children have had or currently have, and I was torn on which one to select. So I talked with my daughter, and she felt the same way. It's difficult to choose among a group of dynamic teachers who offered sessions that spiked our interest. In the end, we chose an hour-long session with Mr. Unick entitled, I think it was entitled Political Banter with Dr. Danny. Right?
Yes.
When we arrived in the cafeteria, administration and staff greeted us. I was able to exchange pleasantries and converse with staff on a personal level, a great way to strengthen relationships. Then we were welcomed as a group. Dr. Nolan told us that a staff member conceived the night and that all the presenters were there on a volunteer basis. What dedication and commitment that shows, and I applaud them for doing that. I am sure all the sessions were great, but I can only comment on Mr. Unick's, and I want to tell you it was phenomenal. I had already thought highly of him as a teacher. Not only did this session confirm this thinking, but also it left me feeling so grateful that my children have had a chance to learn from him. Two of them, he better be around for a long time because I've got 2 more to come. He spoke the entire hour and took comments from the parents masterfully. In the days that followed, I found myself thinking about some of his comments on civic responsibility. It was very, very inspiring. I want to wrap up by saying that I like this parent engagement night because it was carried out by the front line, the teachers. They were given the freedom to design a session based on their expertise and share it in a way they chose. It was authentic and meaningful to everyone involved. It was a chance to build relationships and interact with the teachers that my children see every day, and I want to thank everyone involved.
So, you can assume you're going to at least do this annually? Or several sessions?
No, there is definitely a plan to do it again. I mean, we haven't talked about the number yet. It would be more than once a year. We just, again, the newness of all of it, and we've learned a few things along the way too. Because it wasn't like we didn't pattern this after anything, we just kind of created it as it was.
Is there any way we can attach this somehow to registration so that, to make sure parents see it?
We could, as long as we have a date
At least
in
one,
advance.
Or to let them know it's happened.
Sure. Well, we try to, we talk to all of the students through study halls. We send emails to parents, text message to parents, and a voicemail to parents. So we tried to reach out with every means of communication we could. And we're just hoping that hopefully it just picks up by its own interest. You know, you do it once and people tell a couple people and hopefully it grows from there. But I was, aside from all the wonderful comments that Julie shared, I had a dad come up to me and, you know, again, like Mrs. Kepke, I have 2 boys. He came up to me and he said, one of the sessions was just shooting baskets in the gym. And he said, thank you for giving me 30 minutes to just shoot baskets with my son. He says, I don't get 30 minutes to shoot baskets with my son anymore. And I was like, no problem. You know, I was kind of, you know, doing one of these. So, you know, even though that wasn't necessarily a teacher-led thing, although Mr. Mongan was doing his best to challenge people to play horse in there, it was one of those things that it was just comments like that we didn't expect, and you just don't know what comes out of something like that. So, very pleased. So as much as proud as we are of our ISIP group that we presented last time, we're just as pleased with our TSIP group that really led the charge this year too.
I do have a question about your ISIP group too. How is that information being shared with other teachers? So I researched something on my own. How do I let everybody else know?
Some of them are working in pairs or groups. But we also had what we would call like a speed networking session at our Institute Day, where they actually had to go around and give their 1-minute elevator speech to every staff member about what it is that they're working on, what they found to be good, bad, difficult, and that's supposed to drum up interest so that you know you're working on this topic, you know you're working on this topic, and they can have a further discussion at a later date. I mean, plus, and we gave it to them on paper, but I think obviously having that activity probably put those ideas more in people's heads.
Can I just say too, I think this was an excellent event. I was, of course, triple booked that night with my son, but can I recommend to maybe think about the fall session, because the end of the year, it's jam-packed. Fall is a great time because then as the school year is progressing, parents are making relationships and they've got that for the entire school year?
You
Yeah, I
bet.
think we're thinking initially once a semester probably for
Right.
next year and see how those two go and then,
The idea just came up in like March. So we really liked the idea, so we wanted to take it and run with it before the year ended, just to give it a shot and not wait until the fall. So that's why we kind of pushed the envelope a little bit to maybe rush and get it put together. But in our rush to get 25 people to come here to put on sessions for parents is, again, hats off to our staff.
Thank you. Now, are there any comments from the public?
I have two. Kevin Donigan, I'd like to address the board as president of the JFA.
Good evening, my name is Kevin Donigan, president of the Teachers Union here at District 228. I have a personnel concern that I would like to speak with the board about tonight in closed session, so I'm asking for an opportunity to meet with you guys tonight to have that conversation.
I say yes.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Jack Cascone would like to make a statement regarding the actions of board member Canning at last month's meeting.
Hello, everyone. As most of you know, my name is Jack Cascone, and I graduated from Tinley Park High School in May 2015. I attended TPHS all 4 years and was wildly active in the school and the community. I participated in everything from football and track and field to student council to drama club. I read announcements every morning for over 2 years, served as a peer mentor and dean's aide, and regularly reported to the Board of Education. I was lucky enough to be chosen to attend RILA 2 years in a row, and from that started my own organization to help teach 8th graders all across the district feeder schools on how to adjust to high school and be good people. In addition to that, my 2 older brothers went through Tinley Park High School, one of which is actually getting out of Marine Corps tomorrow for good, so that's really awesome. And then my younger brother Sam, who is graduating in a week, who's going into the Air Force in June, and then Frankie, who's 10, who will be here in 5 years. I'm now entering my junior year at Eureka College. Over the last 2 years, I've become just as involved there as I was here. I'm the president of my fraternity, Delta Sigma Phi. I'm a lead admissions ambassador, a student senator, the assistant editor of our school newspaper, Pegasus, and a residential advisor. I also chair various committees, serve on one of the Board of Trustee committees, and was named Freshman of the Year. The reason for this speech is in response to the recent video of Larry Canning's actions during last month's board meeting. I try to see his point of view. Getting called out in a public meeting is a hard thing to do. But even I, a mere junior in college that is barely through his communication and political science double major, can differentiate between what is good behavior and what is bad behavior. I am still learning how to be an adult, but I can say for certain that Adulting 101 states that losing your temper because someone brought your actions to light is not acceptable, especially for an elected official. It is not acceptable for a representative of this district to tell someone that they are an idiot in a public forum. To call the president of the board an idiot undermines the system set in place. Publicly saying that President Stearns is not a woman and therefore he does not need to respect her is disgraceful to my district. What does that say to the high schoolers in the district? He is advocating on behalf of the bullies within the district and damning the victims of said bullies. The actions of Larry Canning are extremely concerning to me. While I attended TPHS, he at first presented himself as the most caring individual. However, it quickly became apparent of his my way or the highway attitude. It is beyond me how you were reelected. His strategies while campaigning and now serving is typical of a Cook County politician. His corrupt tactics are in line with the Blagojeviches, the Dailies, the Durbins, the Madigans, and the Crotties. My district did its damnedest to teach respect. Canning is perpetuating a bullying society. He is a bully. To his credit, although I may agree with the group of gentlemen that stood up for Stearns, I also believe that it wasn't very appropriate for them to express the emotions in the way that they did. However, I find it even more inappropriate that an elected official would engage with these people.
You're wrong.
They could have said their piece and the meeting would have continued. But Canning, always having to be the baddest kid on the playground, decided to add fuel to the already growing fire.
Wrong again.
I do not believe that he is fit to serve. If I would have acted at Eureka College in the way that he did, I would have either been asked to step down from my positions or I would have been removed from them. If that would have been my punishment at a small liberal arts school in central Illinois, why should that not at least be Canning's fate in a district that serves tens of thousands of people? Canning's actions are conduct unbecoming of a representative of this district. I don't know the removal process for a member, but that will not stop me from expressing my opinion. I call for the immediate removal of Larry Canning from the Board of Education of District 228. Thank you.
Who do you work for? You nut.
Is there anyone else?
I can say what I want.
If you'd like to stand up and make a comment, stand up and make
Yeah,
a
I
comment.
would.
Please don't.
I think
correct
everything
member
that
of the
this young
audience.
man said was way out of line. I think he's associated with one of you people that Larry was opposing. You are so wrong. He was not the bully. Did you watch the video? Because he was not the bully.
Please address the board, not the audience member.
He was the one speaking, was he not? Am I expressing you now?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm expressing you. This was uncalled for. You think you're such a good boy? You don't know life. You got people coming in here doing that to Larry, and Larry wasn't supposed to stand up and defend himself? Son, did you really watch that video? And that's all I had to say. Let's go. People like this, I'm not taking this.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? We'll move on to reports by the superintendents.
Since our last regular board meeting, we received the following Freedom of Information Act requests. 2 requests were received from JFA President Kevin Donegan. The first was for a copy of the report submitted by Ms. Schwendenner involving a harassment claim by an employee. The second was a copy of an audio tape recording of the labor management meeting held on April 10th at the administrative building. Both requests have been completed. Later on in this evening's agenda, you will see an overnight field trip for the Excel students to attend the Special Olympics. On Saturday, May 6th, 13 athletes from the Excel Functional Life Skills program at Bremen High School competed in Special Olympics Area 7 Spring Games at Richard High School. While competing against other athletes from South Cook and Will counties, 4 of our Excel athletes qualified for the state tournament by earning gold medals in track and field and softball throw events. The state tournament will be held over the weekend of June 9th through the 11th at Illinois State University. Our athletes have spent many hours practicing and preparing to represent themselves in their school with pride. The team is coached by Rachel Winnick and Meredith Madden, both teachers in the Excel program. Congratulations to our Excel students and their coaches. This is the second year that the state of Illinois and Bremen High School have offered the Illinois State Seal of Biliteracy and Commendation for Biliteracy to our students. This year we have 35 students who have earned the Seal of Biliteracy and 11 students who've earned Commendation of Biliteracy. This number is twice as many students who have earned the awards in 2016. Also, there were 3 participants that received the seal in 2 languages in addition to English. These awards will be reflected on the students' high school transcripts and in their diplomas. They are evidence of skills that are attractive to college admissions office and future employees. We are in the final weeks of the 2016-17 school year. Next week, we will recognize the class of 2017 with our commencement ceremony. I'm confident that our nearly 1,400 graduates will continue to work hard towards their goals, and on behalf of the entire school community, we wish them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any board members that have anything to say?
I wasn't planning to say anything, but Jack, I want to commend you for presenting the board. I think it's important that board members know that alumni are still caring and coming back, and regardless of what your viewpoints were or are, I think you did it in a very professional and tactful manner, and I appreciate that. And it's because of alumni and students like yourself that I do what I do. So thank you very much for doing that.
Anyone else?
I just want to say I look forward, I thank all the parents that have really worked hard, helping their students to achieve their goal. I look forward to seeing you at graduation next week, and all the teachers that have worked hard. And in regards to Teacher Appreciation Week, I just want to just publicly say thank you for all your hard work and all that you do to help our students to succeed and have their own personal successes, whether that be academic, athletic, or otherwise. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I recently met with Al Riley, our representative regarding the Illinois state budget and educational funding. I forwarded him information regarding the $3.8 million the state owes us and is past due on, along with the request that a budget be passed that is equitably funds education. The Illinois General Assembly will be debating many bills relating to education over the next couple of weeks. Now's the time for people to contact their legislators to provide input. I encourage everyone to ask them to improve comprehensive balanced budget for the entire state. Due to the 2-year budget stalemate schools have suffered, and the failure to fund social services has been harmful to students, especially at-risk students. We must also insist that they stop the mandates. Over the past 10 years, the state has mandated more than 100 new unfunded or underfunded mandates, and this takes away money from programs that individual districts believe would better serve their students. They add new costs to schools while overall school funding has declined and the state has laid on what it is responsible for. They add new responsibilities that require time be taken away from the classroom without adding a minute to the school day or a day to the school year. So I'd like everyone to contact their legislators and please ask them to do that. I'd also like to commend Bremen High School for their recent Cinco de Mayo event. At first I wondered why events like this aren't shared with our whole district community, thinking that other residents may wish to attend. However, it soon became apparent why they couldn't do this as they ran out of room, ran out of tables, ran out of food, but everyone enjoyed it immensely. It was filled with families, amazing performances. A young lady sang that she could be a professional singer right now. Talked to a couple of girls who were dancers that have been taking traditional dance lessons for 10, 12 years, and it was just a wonderful event. Also like to commend Forest on their research concert. They utilized just about every musical instrument I think ever invented. And what I especially liked about this event that parents were thanked for their contributions. It was stated how the program wouldn't exist without them, all the help they gave. It was also educational. Trivia was shared about chosen selections, why they were chosen, why they were important. And it was also nice to see not only were the seniors highlighted, but little bits and pieces were shared about each individual student, so you felt like you got to know them a little bit. I'd also like to thank the administrators and staff for all the hard work over the last several years. We've asked time and time again that you do more with less. You've answered that call. We've recently seen that due to the state and the general economic climate in Illinois, providing a good education isn't an easy task. We're fortunate to have each of you and grateful that we retain our high financial rating. I also want to extend my most heartfelt thanks to our special ed department, and everyone knows I'm going to tear up here. Social workers and anyone involved with that population. I have personally seen the life-changing effects of your efforts with a couple students that I'm very close with. Their parents had wondered what kind of adult life their child could possibly have. Since being under their guidance, your guidance, these students have blossomed and whole new worlds have opened up to them that their parents never even thought were possible, and now they're seeing great hope that their children are going to be able to attain their full possibility and potential. I don't even know that these teachers understand the impact that they have, not only on these students, but the families, taking great weight off their shoulders, and just thank you. I also want to say how proud I am of Bremen students for honoring their classmates that they lost this year. Oak Forest last night held their Bengal Cup. That was another awesome activity. It was attended by more than 300 students, totally amazed everyone. I think didn't expect that many kids to be there. I would actually like to see this spread throughout the other schools. I think it's a great activity. The kids all run it, plan it themselves. Hillcrest Honors Night was also another special night. I've never seen a specific class that appeared to support one another so well. They cheered for each other individually, patted each other on the back. It was funny that it was a secret the whole year who was their mascot. No one knew. And even their announcement reader was a secret to everyone until they got up and said why they were being recognized. So that was really special. I was talking to a parent, and he was saying the same thing that I was saying, and he said that's because there's many of us that are alumni, and we know how important the school is, what the school did for us, so we've shared that with our kids and want our kids to continue that tradition. I don't know if we know the numbers of the other schools. Hillcrest Vale Victorian has a 5.92 GPA. Last year it was 6 point something. So that's just outstanding. They also have 4 kids graduating in under 4 years this year, so good job. Thank you.
I want to say something about this, okay? I want to thank David Stearns and the administration for, we have an after-school program meal that feeds the kids, people that are struggling these days. No student have to go hungry at 3 o'clock. They can pick up a meal starting in the summer, which we hope to move through the rest of the school year coming up in the fall. Ms. Stearns and I went through the facility, and it was just amazing how they could put 5,000 meals together or 15,000 meals together to bring it out to the schools and everything. And this past week, Dr. Kendall approved the situation out there, so we will, when your kids come to practice or a summer camp or something like that, they'll be fed a breakfast and a lunch. And we're just going to work out the particulars today, and there's a USDA government program in the state of Illinois. Okay. Thank you, young man, for coming out.
You know, I got one statement on Jack. Jack, I'd like you to know that Maggie Crotty's done a lot for District 228 and the area as a whole. So, and I'm very proud to be friends with her and can't wait to do a lot of things with her in the future. So, just want to let you know that. Okay?
New business, Mr. O'Malley?
Thank you, Ms. Stearns. Board members, item 9.1 pertains to our bills, the addendum to those bills, the payroll, and our CDS. The superintendent is recommending those to the full board this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Ressler, second by Mr. Johnson. Any discussion? No discussion.
Mrs. Ressler? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason? Aye. Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stern?
Aye.
Item 9.2 pertains to a PTAB for Thomas Corsi property located at 147th and Cicero. The settlement recommendation is for tax years 11, 12, and 13. This settlement will save the district a little over $12,000 in losses pertaining to the settlement. The superintendent is recommending this to the board this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Ressler, second by Mr. Johnson. Any discussion?
Want to make a comment once again that these PTAB things, these are appeals by businesses who have attorneys that do this every year, and if we don't fight it, we lose more money. So we're saving $12,000, but we're still losing money. And there's 2 more of these resolutions on tonight's agenda, and there was one on last month's agenda. This is an ongoing thing. This is one of the ways that our income, our revenues get decreased every year. Mrs. Ressler?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason? Aye. Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stern?
Aye.
Item 9.3 pertains to a property tax appeal for Palmer Crest, located at 1 Gray Court Drive in Homewood. This is for tax year 2011. This settlement will prevent the revenue loss of over $18,000. Again, the superintendent is recommending this to the board this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Ressler, second by Ms. Gleason. Any discussion? How many years do they have to appeal it?
I don't know exactly how far back they can go, but I know there's a backlog. They put the appeals in, and then it's so backlogged that there's 4 or 5 years worth of backlogs that they get, and at times they'll end up taking, 3 and 4 years worth and settling them all in one settlement. But I don't know in terms of filing exactly the date that they have to appeal.
Is it similar like homeowners? There's like a window of opportunity.
I believe
for
that's
township.
how it is, but I don't know the length of what that window is.
Mrs. Wrestler?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stearns?
Aye.
Item 9.4 pertains to, again, another property tax appeal right across the street at Panduit Corporation. This is for the 2011 tax year, and this settlement will prevent the revenue loss of over $79,000. The superintendent is recommending this to the board this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Wessler, second by Mr. Johnson. Any discussion? No discussion.
Mrs. Wrestler?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stearns?
Aye.
Item 9.5 is an agreement to rent or lease the summer driver education cars. Again, we'd be looking to utilize Chevrolet of Homewood. We've used them the last 3 years. The cost of the lease is $354 per car. We'd be leasing 20 cars. This cost includes the installation and the removal of the safety brake that's required for the driver ed cars. Superintendent is recommending this lease to the board.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Wessler, second by Ms. Jones. Any discussion?
Just a comment again, I don't know how many on the board realize that very few car dealers want to do this, number one. And putting this brake in and taking it on in the past, we've paid that expense. So to have the car dealer accept that is a huge thing. And if you've ever rented a car, $354, you're lucky to get a week. So,
And
I think
most
it's a
of
great
the
deal.
monthly rate is due to the rental of the brake installation yearly too.
Mrs. Wrestler?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stearns?
Aye.
Item 9.6 pertains to our Athletico contract renewal. We're looking to extend the contract with Athletico to provide the athletic training services at all 4 of our campuses. The cost for next year would be $79,362. That's a reduction from what we're currently paying. And then year 2 would increase by CPI capped at 3%, whichever is the greater of the two, and the same would apply for year 3. So the superintendent is recommending the extension of Athletico. They've done a great job providing athletic training services for our students. Our staff and our students have been satisfied with what they're doing, so we're recommending that to the board this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Ms. Wessler. Any discussion? When it references that it covers summer camps and optional heart screening, it's not optional heart screening if we choose to make it optional, the parents choose to.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Wrestler?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stearns?
Aye. Dr. Williams?
Thank you. Item 9.7 are the instructional materials adoption. The Instructional Materials Review Committee, comprised of teachers, parents, and administrators, reviewed the attached materials along with the Teaching and Learning Committee and recommend their consideration by the board. The textbooks and supplementary materials, if applicable, were on display at the Ed Center and are on display at the board meeting this evening. A list of textbooks and materials represents courses of personal finance, studies in American literature, studies in contemporary literature, Math 1, American history, AP American history, AP Econ, and foundations of cultural and speculative literature. The Teaching and Learning Committee, along with the superintendent, recommend these textbooks and supplementary materials for full board approval.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Ms. Gleason. Any discussion? No discussion.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason? Aye. Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Wrestler?
Aye.
Mrs. Stearns?
Aye.
Item 9.8 is the overnight field trip request for our Excel students to participate in the Special Olympics at the state level. Again, June 9th through the 11th, no cost to students. Obviously, we're out of school, but they would be using school transportation. The superintendent is recommending the approval of this overnight field trip request.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Ms. Wessler. Any discussion?
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Wrestler?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth?
Aye.